everybody doing? Yeah, I know, but we're all in it to win it, aren't we? We're just gonna white knuckle it. What an insane pay-per-view. Honestly, one of my favorite ones that I've been able to just like sit back and watch. Utter insanity from bell to bell. But guys, without further ado, for the Double or Nothing press conference, please welcome in our president and CEO, Tony Khan. How are you feeling?
I feel fantastic. What a great, great, great night. After 7 years of AEW, I can't imagine a better show to come here and greet you all. It's great to see so many familiar faces from day one, celebrating the 8th Double or Nothing in 7 years of AEW. And Renee, I can't imagine anybody better to share the stage with. And I also can't imagine a better person to come in and be our first guest for this Scrum.
I am with you guys. This man has advanced in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament with his win over Samoa Joe tonight. Please welcome Will Ospreay.
What's going on? How are ya? You okay, love?
Hi.
You alright?
Yeah, you?
Alive.
That's a nice soft sweater.
Oh, it's from the Harry Potter store.
It's nice.
I went to the Harry Potter store in New York. Me and Mrs. went, and I thought I looked dead cute in this. Personally.
Well, thank you for gracing us in your Harry Potter sweater. You and Samoa Joe absolutely destroyed each other tonight. There was a lot going on with you and the ops kind of leading into this. How are you feeling on the other side of things to advance in this tournament?
Over the moon to be advancing and just taking one step closer to maybe fulfilling such a dream of mine to main event Wembley Stadium in my home country. It blows my mind that I was lucky enough. Oh, have I just messed everything up?
No, it's that mic right there.
Is that Mike?
We'll get Adam, might get this thing out of here.
Someone take this. I'm gonna move it over here.
As he was saying.
Yeah, sorry. But like being in there with Samoa Joe and like, I've said it so many times, the match that AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels and Samoa Joe made me want to be a pro wrestler. Like I can't tell you guys enough, right? I am stupid, like proper stupid. I didn't know what I was gonna do in my life, generally, right? And I watched this match take place and I was just like, that's exactly what I wanna do. And I wrestled AJ, I've wrestled Daniels. This was the last piece of that puzzle, the trifecta. So to get in the ring with Joe and earn his respect at the end, like, this is incredible. Like I'm having the best time.
All right, guys, the floor is open to you. Any questions for Will?
Will, how you doing? Alan from Owens Talk. So before, during the VIP experience, you made it known that you are not a member of the Death Riders. There is potential that in the finals, you meet a member of the Death Riders, somebody that you've been training with to get to this point to become the killer that you are. Do you feel like he might have an advantage on you with all the training he's done with you to know what your weaknesses might be?
I mean, there is that potential possibility, but then if you look at the matches that we've had, I've had 2 matches with him, and I've whooped him on both times. So, like, I do appreciate the thought and the idea of him maybe going head-to-head with Claudio. You know, like, I feel very confident going into that match.
Hello, Will. Jorge Cervera with All Elite Show on Fox Sports. Thank you so much. Well, I would like to ask you, another match of the Open Heart tournament was Bandido against Swerve, and there's a possibility that you have a match against Swerve Strickland again at Forbidden Door. So have you ever considered that situation? How do you feel about that to once again face Swerve in that pay-per-view?
I mean, as soon as I saw the bracket, he stuck out like a sore thumb to me. And it's a bit of a weird situation between us right now because he's one of my best mates, and he has been for ages. But I'll be real with you, like, I haven't spoken to him for a year. It's been awkward, and I'm looking at what he's doing, and I don't really like how he's acting. And I'm sure he's looking at what I'm doing, and he's not like what I'm acting. So we haven't crossed paths. He hasn't called me. I haven't called him. I'd rather just see where this goes.
Kyle Collison, Knockouts and 3 Counts and BodySlam.net. To go along with what you were talking about, what we've already heard with potential matchups, another one that's very interesting to me is Mark Davis is also in this tournament. You know, there's a lot of talk with not only the Death Riders, but your association with the United Empire. What's the situation with you and the UE, and what are your thoughts on a match with you and Mark Davis?
I mean, tempers are flaring a lot in the United Empire dressing room, and like for good reasons. Like I can only imagine them watching AEW and the guys that like I called to say, hey, like we're gonna go take it to these guys, and now all of a sudden I'm training with them. Like I'm sure that has ruffled feathers and confused them, but like this is that you can't argue with the results that I've been getting with John. My neck feels so much better. I'm in such a better place with my body now. Like I'm not hurting as much as I used to. The thing is like, look, Callum's my little brother, and he's done a fantastic job of trying to fill my shoes in the United Empire. And honestly, he's doing great. He's the youngest world champion. He's the youngest guy to hold the New Japan Cup. But I just think like he's just playing a little bit of a dangerous game, and it's a conversation that obviously myself and Callum need to have. But in terms of the United Empire boys, we're cushy, we're all strong, we're still the Never Six-Man Tag Team Champions, and Callum's still the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. We're rolling good. The match against Mark Davis, look, it's a tough one because obviously, once again, former United Empire member. That's the first time I've ever been in a ring and a match has been stopped, not by a pinfall or a submission. It's the first time a referee and a doctor has stopped one of my matches. And I want to make sure that I don't have that feeling ever again. And Davis is a scary one to wrestle because he's got so many variations of pile drivers. And I just need to do everything in my power to just avoid those situations.
2 more questions for Will. There's one back there. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
I screwed that up.
No, it's all good. Josh Martinez, Z100 iHeartRadio. Looking ahead a little bit, has it hit you yet that you could potentially be headlining Wembley for the AEW title if everything goes the way you want it to go? And if you could elaborate a little bit on the feelings that you have looking ahead a little bit.
Sure, matey. When I was 14 years old, every kid in my school wanted to be a football player. Like, and soccer to you guys, World Cup's coming, it's football, right? It's football to me. Every kid wanted to be a football player. Everybody wanted to score the winning goal for England to win the World Cup. It was just ingrained within our culture and within our society. And Wembley Stadium hosts all the most important football games. It has such an iconic backstory to it, and legends have performed in that building. I was working at my uncle's mastic firm. Mastic is like a white sealant around your windows and your doors and your bathrooms. That was my job. And I would do I would do jobs where I was in Wembley and I got to watch the fans go into the stadium, and it's the passion of the English people like going in to support whatever team's in there. I have not stopped thinking about it. Like the first time that I walked into Wembley Stadium was mind-blowing. The second time I felt like I put my footprint in British wrestling, and I felt like I stepped into a new level that second time. This time, I can't tell you how much it would mean to me to be in the main event and fighting for a championship that I hold so high. It's what dreams are made out of, eh? And it's like something that I hope every English boy that has ever had a dream, just attack it, man, because I'm there, I'm nearly there. I can't wait, and I want to go through these matches. Nothing is stopping me right now, man. Nothing is going to stop me from getting that moment. Fuck, man, I nearly cried doing that. Fuck, hell.
You almost made me cry. I'm like,
Yeah,
shit.
man, fuck. It's cool.
Hi, Will. Mike Morano from Mike Vice on YouTube. Congratulations on defeating Samoa Joe, the legendary Samoa Joe, in the opening round of the Owen. Now, Will, obviously, to follow up with what Josh was asking you, it is one thing to get your big moment in Wembley Stadium that your home country, they're depending on that. But after that settles, if that does in fact happen, Will, how confident are you that you can carry those 3 letters that are in front of you and behind you, and also next to that gentleman right there? How confident are you that you can carry All Elite Wrestling and make it bigger than anyone that has come before you?
If I can ask you a question back,
Yes,
tell
sir.
me one pay-per-view that I didn't steal.
Well, I can't.
Tell me any time when I've needed to step up to the mark, I haven't done it.
There is no such thing. Nope.
And it's because like I have that confidence and that belief that
Yes,
I
sir.
can carry those 3 letters. The middle letter, E, that's the standard, mate. Elite. And when everybody talks about an elite pro wrestler, there is no one better in this planet, mate. I believe that with my heart. I believe that with my soul. I know what I'm capable of. I know what I can do. This place, the motto, and it gets said over and over again, this is where the best wrestle. Nah, mate, this is where the Billy Goat wrestles. And I am ready, more than ever, to take that top spot and to take AEW into new heights.
Best of luck, Will. Thank you.
Bless you, sir. Thank you.
With that, Will, thank you so much. Congratulations on
God
tonight.
bless you. Thank you very much, lovely. Okay, guys, so
Very good, Josh.
Can I just run that back for 1 second? Did he say he was doing the caulking in the windows at Wembley?
Yes, he did. He used a different word for it.
That's insane.
He used a word we don't know. To reiterate some of what he was saying, from living in England and spending years of my life living in England, I back up what he said about it being every English boy's dream to go to Wembley Stadium, and so many English boys dream of going to Wembley Stadium and making their dream come true. And in his case, he's chasing something that nobody's ever done before. No Englishman has ever gone to Wembley Stadium and won a world championship before. It's never been done. So it's a big dream. And in his case, it hits very close to home for him. But that was really quite an answer, and I thought it was a great question, too. Thank you, Josh.
Very confident man. Speaking of confidence, shall we bring out our next guest?
Yes. Another great wrestler from Europe.
Yes.
Very different great wrestler.
She survived in the 4-way All Champions matchup tonight. She is our AEW Women's Champion, Tekla.
This is becoming quite a tradition.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sup?
Let's go. Champ. All right.
Hell yeah. Sup,
right.
bitches?
Wow. She's back.
This guy right here for you. What a night for you. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
Still here. Why are you guys still here?
We're partying. We're keeping the dream alive
They're waiting
out
for
here.
you, champ.
This was an insane matchup, a 4-way matchup. You and I spoke earlier about this, and we did close up. The odds were, of course, against you going into this match, looking at the women that were all across the ring from you, but you survived. What is the testament to be able to stay at the top of the women's division?
What, if I feel good or what? If I'm having a good time? Yeah, it's amazing. I did it again. Who would have guessed? So, what's next? What's next, Tony? What we got? Where's everybody? Huh? Who's left? I went through everybody. Who's left?
Well, there's a lot of great international wrestlers coming to AEW. Not only are there great wrestlers in the Owen Hart tournament, but there's also some great international wrestlers coming in for Forbidden Door.
Are we talking Forbidden Door? Did you
People-
invite him? Did you invite my man?
Oh, your friend
Okada?
will be, your buddy will be there. And I'm not talking
For a
about
good ass
not talking
beating.
about
That's
Big
what's happening.
Kazu. Not talking about Kazu either. The other President Okada is coming for Forbidden Door. Absolutely.
Hell yeah. Oh, no, we're not talking about Kazuchika Okada.
Talking about
We're
Taro.
talking about Taro Okada. Let's get some Stardom reunions going.
For those who aren't familiar, I think most of you probably know the president of Stardom and Tekla are acquainted
Best
very
friends.
well. They're quite closely acquainted. He fired Tekla,
I got fired from Japan.
and you beat the hell out of him.
I didn't get fired from Japan, by the way.
Well, we're happy to have you. Guys, some questions for the women's champ. What do we got?
All right.
Hi, Tyler Dominic. Good day, New York. So tonight we saw one of the opening matches in the Owen Hart's Women Cup. I think only 2 of the current people in the Owen Hart Cup you've actually faced before. Do you have a preferred opponent to go into Wembley as champion for the Owen winner?
Sky Blue is gonna win this shit, baby. And then we'll see. The most important thing is that this baby here stays with the triangle. And I'd love to see Sky step up.
All right.
Who's next?
It's a good answer.
Kyle Collison, Knockouts and 3 Counts and BodySlam.net. Self-admittedly, before you came to AEW, I was new to Tekla. But I gotta say, I've been nothing but impressed since you've come over, and I think since you've won the title, you've seen a whole nother level of viciousness in this, especially with what we saw in the match. What do you think's been the biggest change for you, and have you seen a change since you won the title? A lot of people talk about when you win the title, it makes you a different person. Have you seen a change since you won the title?
I always knew I was good. Now I know I'm the fucking best. That's the change. And I prove it day in, day out. So that's it. Nothing new, really. Just wake up, Tekla, do it my way. That's it. We're here again.
Any other questions for the champ? We got another one over here.
Hi, Tekla.
So-
Joe Stashevsky from the New York Post.
How you doing?
We've heard a lot of comparisons of you to being the modern Luna Vachon.
Yeah.
What have you thought about that? And if that gear tonight and everything felt a little bit Luna-esque. Was that on purpose or is anything like that?
That was not on purpose, but I've heard that comparison a lot, and I love it. I've never not liked hearing that. Every time somebody says, "Oh, she's a new Luna Vachon," I go like, "Yeah." So that's cool. I love being a reincarnation to some extent of Luna because she was a badass.
Got more questions? I think you kind of scared everybody.
Good.
No,
Good.
we do have our friend from
Always.
Fox Sports Mexico.
Hello, Tekla.
Hola.
Jorge Cervera from Lucha Libre Online and All Elite Show in Fox Sports. Well, I just want to ask you, because you already have the opportunity to be at the Arena Mexico, but I would like to know if it's possible to see you over there defending the gold of AEW.
That's a very good question. What do you think, TK?
I think that's a great idea. You know, actually, the president of CMLL was here today, and that was one of the very things we were talking
Really?
about. I think they would love to have the Triangle of Madness come down to Mexico.
I actually saw him in Vegas too. He came up shaking my hand before noon. I was like, "Oh man, the president is here." You know, I was like, "We would love to have you." I was like, "You know, the gold is heavy. We gotta ask TK. I'd love to be back there."
Well, I got to tell you,
Honestly.
it's an occupational hazard when you're the president of a wrestling company and you run into Tekla. When you're president of a wrestling company, Tekla's not the person you want to see in a dark
He's a
hallway.
little scared of me, I think.
Yeah, thankfully, you've always been good with me, but
We
my,
got good
my
security
peers,
here, too.
Yes, I have very
Yeah,
good security.
you're
I
you're
have
safe.
very good
You're
se-
safe for
I have-
now, TK.
I have very good security now.
Yeah, and since we have another president coming in, maybe I told him to stay away, but if he comes in, he's gonna get it.
He has good security too.
Yeah, so just don't piss me off, TK, because who knows what I'm gonna do.
I appreciate it.
Well, Tekla, congratulations. Incredible match tonight. So happy that you retained this title. Excited to see who's next.
Thank you.
Way to go, Chip. Hey, we're doing it.
I got a little souvenir. Look at that.
I love that.
Right? It's a
That's
nice
pretty
one.
cool,
That's
Renee.
like people get that tattooed,
Very
you know?
cool stuff.
What a night.
What a night.
What an insane night. I felt like I kept kind of like sitting back and just watching the show going, professional wrestling is great. What a night.
It was so great.
It was so great. Mick Foley is here. Mick Foley is All Elite. Thank you for bringing him in.
What a team.
I had a blast with him tonight. What did it mean to you to be able to bring in the hardcore legend himself?
Well, let me tell you, Renee, something I take pride in is pairing up great pairs, whether it's Sting and Darby
Yeah.
or so many other great ones along the way. And I think a great team is going to be you and Mick.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about it. you got off to a great start hosting the show tonight with Mick, and I'm excited that you're both going to be here doing it for a long time to come. Obviously, he got into a bit of an altercation before the show started,
Yeah.
but all in all, I think it was one of the best nights in the history of the company. And I know I guess now this would be about just close to 4 years you've been here. This is
Yeah.
the set, but it feels like, Renee, you've been with us all along from day one.
I had to watch the very first Double or Nothing from home, and it still kind of pains me that I was not there at the very first one, but I was there in spirit.
But to her former employer, she was not there. So
I was
don't
not
come
there.
don't come after Uncle
I
Tony.
watched from home. Everyone be cool about it.
But that was a great night, and we've really come full circle. And the 8th edition of Double or Nothing, in just my personal opinion, I thought it was the best one yet.
Yeah, I completely agree. Top to bottom, you kept thinking one match was, no one could top that, and then the next match came out, and lo and behold, they went and did more.
Last year was such an important year for the company. Last year, Sports Illustrated voted AEW the best pro wrestling promotion in the world. A number of publications like ESPN, the New York Post, Sports Illustrated picked AEW events as the best event of the year, and I believe the New York Post and Sports Illustrated both picked Double or Nothing as the best event last year. And I thought that Double or Nothing this year lived up to last year's event, and for me, in my opinion, was even better this year. So we've set a very high standard, I think, already in 2026. After a really important 2025, it feels like we're following up, and to come here to New York and have one of the best nights in AEW history, it really feels like, very fittingly, in the home, the Billie Jean King Tennis Center complex right next door to Arthur Ashe Stadium, where we had the original Grand Slam. It felt like we hit a Grand Slam for
Yeah.
AEW tonight.
Completely agree. Guys, the floor is yours to fire away here at our president and CEO.
I'll stay as long as it takes. I'll answer everyone's questions. I want to make sure you all get one in.
Hey, Tony. John Kleinchester, Post Wrestling. I was wondering if you could open up a little bit more about the My AEW service. QT Marshall's promotion, One Fall Wrestling, appeared on the service this past week. Can you talk to us a little bit about your plans for My AEW and whether or not maybe more promotions might be showing up on the service at some point?
Yes, My AEW is primarily focused on international, but that we do have the domestic service. And it has a lot of great content, and we plan to feature wrestling from multiple promotions. We've just added QT's great promotion. We have One Fall Wrestling now, but we're looking to add other promotions to My AEW and make it a hub for pro wrestling all over the world. Thanks for asking. And of course, for a lot of fans, it's already become a great destination. It's been a key part of our international strategy, but also here in the U.S., there's great promotions that we can make available on My AEW. And still, we have all of our focus here pushed towards HBO Max and Warner Brothers Discovery. Thank you.
Hey, Tony, nice to see you again. Justin D'Orazio with Sports Radio 94 WIP in Philadelphia. I'm really curious, has AEW ever tried to run Madison Square Garden, and is that a possibility in the future, or is there some type of exclusivity agreement in place?
Yes, I think some of the people in here, knowing the people in the room, there's a lot of like really hardcore wrestling people, so I'm going to guess about 12 to 17 of you already know this story, so I apologize for telling a story again that you already know. Actually, there was a possibility the original Dynamite was going to be there. They actually had called and asked me if I wanted to have it there. And I said, I am very interested in having it there. And then I received a phone call back saying, actually, we changed our mind, we don't want you. That was, okay, no problem. So that was the last time we talked. That was 2019.
Good stuff.
Hey, haven't we come a long way since
We
then?
sure have.
They did the Lucy with the football, the Charlie Brown move.
Hey, Tony, John Alba, the Takedown SI. The Knicks are occupying MSG right now, so that might be hard to work around.
Congratulations, John. Congratulations on the New York Knicks.
We're doing our best to cover it. Max being champion again. A lot of people have talked about the run that he's had in the past year. I'd love to know, since you're kind of in the weeds of analytics and numbers, are you seeing a tangible difference with him at the top right now in comparison to some of the past people who have held the world title for AEW?
I think he's done a tremendous job, and I would have sat here last year and said that the company was on an upward trajectory with a great champion at Double or Nothing. Here right now, I would say the company is on an upward trajectory, again, with a great champion following another great champion, because Darby did a tremendous job, was fantastic in his matches. In 2026, absolutely, we've seen great results with MJF as the champion. There are only 2 wrestlers in the history of AEW now to hold the championship 3 times, to be 3-time world champions in AEW. And in the case of MJF, he's the first wrestler ever to hold the world championship on 3 occasions here under the age of 30. It's very impressive. The only wrestlers who've held the championship 3 times in AEW as world champion are MJF and Jon Moxley. And they are the two of, I would say, the best box office champions we've had, along with Kenny Omega. I would think it would be very fair to say that the 3 of them have all been fantastic in their championship reigns. And I would say that in the case of now MJF winning his 3rd championship tonight, and Jon Moxley throughout their multiple championship reigns, they've always been very, very successful for us as the champion. And I would say that some of the best times box office wise for the company were with those 2 as the champion and with Kenny as the champion. And I also think Hangman, fantastic. I mean, every champion we've had has done really, really well. But when you say that MJF now a 3-time champion and Jon Moxley a 4-time champion, I mean, that not only the results of winning the championships multiple times, but they've been very, very successful in the box office when they've been the champion. Thank you.
Hi, Tony. Kimi Sokol from Fightful. Now, there are many pros and cons to running in New York, obviously, the huge gate tonight. But one of the cons is that you can't really bleed in New York because of the commission, and a lot of the matches you had tonight, like the Stadium Stampede, the I Quit, was there any sort of doubt of you doing those matches with that rule in place?
I think they were awesome matches, and it was an excellent show, and I know that everybody here in New York was very happy with how we executed, and I felt like for this event, it was the perfect blend of insane violence, crazy moments, and awesome wrestling. And for this crowd and this venue and this occasion, I thought we hit a home run. And people had asked me about Anarchy in the Arena at Double or Nothing, but this is Louis Armstrong Stadium. So it's stadium's very fitting place to do a stadium stampede. And I thought that was one of the best stadium stampede, or certainly up there with the craziest stadium stampede matches on one of the best pay-per-views we've ever done. And thankfully, we were able to keep the state of New York very happy with AEW tonight. Thank you.
Hi, Tony. Tyler Dominic with Good Day New York. So we've talked a lot about the world champions on tonight's show, obviously. We saw in the Owen 2 world champions for Ring of Honor competing as well. I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about how you're looking to differentiate the product on screen with AEW and ROH. We've seen like different taping dates recently with Ring of Honor, but is there anything that you're actively like looking to implement more so to make Ring of Honor and AEW more distinct on-screen products?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. And I do think if you do you watch the Ring of Honor TV very often? So great. So I think if you watch the Ring of Honor TV pretty often, I think there are some elements of the show that are quite different. I also think the Ring of Honor TV is having, since I've been doing it, one of the strongest periods. I'm excited for the upcoming episodes too, because we just shot a few weeks in Jacksonville of really strong shows, and there's a lot of matches coming out of those and rivalries coming out of those that people I think are going to be excited about, and the shows are going to fit together very nicely. Now, in Ring of Honor, I believe it is a place where not only we have a lot of the best veteran wrestlers, but also a lot of really impressive young wrestlers, including a lot of young women. And there are a lot of women's matches in ROH and a lot of focus on developing women's wrestling. And I also don't have the same pressures of TV time, commercial breaks, and all these things, and it's a great place to bring people in. I also think there's a focus on pure wrestling. On the last pay-per-view, 3 of the matches were pure wrestling matches. And I thought it was interesting because I feel like that was very different than what you would see on an AEW pay-per-view. To have the pure wrestling matches, but also to have the men's championship and the women's championship, and also a match establishing a top contender as well. So the focus on pure wrestling often I'd say the Ring of Honor TV shows put a very large emphasis on women's wrestling, and also no commercials and very different formatting in the show. I try to make it a balance between the wrestlers in ROH now, but also having a lot of the classic ROH wrestlers and that from before I owned the company, and call back to those. Like I thought AR Fox and Shane Taylor had a great match this past week for the TV title, and you know, AR Fox is the new TV champion, but Shane Taylor was a great TV champion in the past before I owned ROH, and he's just coming off a great reign as 1/3 of the world six-man champion. So I thought that would make a lot of sense for him to try to get a belt back and go after the TV title and have AR Fox's reign feature a great championship match right off the bat. So trying to utilize some of the history of ROH, trying to mix the veterans, the young wrestlers, a lot of pure wrestling, and emphasis on a lot of the young wrestlers and their development, and also trying to put the pedal to the metal and put on as much women's wrestling as I can on that show. Thank you for asking.
Hey, Tony. Corey Lee from the Wrestling Observer. How you doing today?
Cool. I'm very welcome. I'm doing really well, Corey. Thank you.
Couple questions. One, the gate and how the pay-per-views are doing, and then the other question I wanted to talk about is Darby Allin's title reign, which obviously ended tonight. He had, I believe, was it 5 or 6 matches, pretty much straight through from the title reign. Can you just talk about his title reign and where it ranks up into the other reigns that you've had, and then also, again, with just how insane basically he's been during that run.
Was this his 8th defense?
I think so.
I think it was his 8th
think
defense,
it
yeah.
was.
So that's pretty remarkable in about a month, what he's been able to do as the champion. And it's a testament to Darby Allin. He's been absolutely fantastic as the champion every week on television, having awesome matches and delivering different, exciting ways to win, coming from behind, and also gradually wearing his body down and down and down. And tonight was the breaking point. But what he's been able to do at that breakneck pace, thankfully not literally, and at it's hard to put into words how much Darby Allin means to this company, because nobody would ever ask somebody to put their body on the line. No boss could ever go to somebody and ask somebody to do the kinds of things Darby Allin does, to wrestle that often, to wrestle that hard, to take those kinds of chances, to take the risks that he did. He's a very, very special person. And he was fantastic as the TNT champion. He was fantastic teaming with Sting, and he's been fantastic as the world champion. Everything Darby Allin's done for us, he's done his very, very best. And whether it's been in his singles run and the singles championships, he captured the TNT title, the world title as a tag team wrestler, or climbing Mount Everest. He's done just about everything he's ever set his mind to in pro wrestling, and I believe it's one of the greatest title reigns of any kind we've ever had in AEW, and it's very fitting, because I also think some of the greatest TNT title reigns have been Darby's reigns, where he put his body on the line and wrestled every week. But we've really never had a world champion wrestle at this kind of pace, this kind of schedule, multiple times a week. You know, Mox wrestled on the show every week, but there was only one show a week back then in the pandemic. We didn't have Collision yet, and it was before Rampage even. So we probably have never really seen anything quite like this, with somebody going out twice a week often and wrestling at that kind of pace and taking these kinds of risks. He's one of the greatest fighting champions we've ever had in AEW of any kind at any time, and we're very fortunate he's been here this whole time. Thank you.
Hey, Tony. Question about the main event. My name is Malcolm with the Sportster. Kevin Knight made my stomach turn. It was gross. It's so out of character of him. What was your thoughts on Kevin Knight turning on Darby Allin, turning on AEW?
To jet Kevin Knight is one of the top young stars in the sport. And we'd seen him come out trying to pump up Darby, and I think Kevin wanted to get back in the ring with Darby and fight Darby again, because Kevin's been on fire. I mean, we saw Kevin beat MJF. Kevin's beaten some of the biggest names in wrestling. He's a great TNT champion, and that may have been unexpected from him to have the Jet come out and do that. I think we need to hear it from him. So I'll be interested this week to hear what Kevin has to say for himself. I think the world of the Jet. I have such a high opinion of him, and I think we'll have to wait and see what the Jet has to say for himself.
What's going on, Tony?
Hey.
Kyle Collison from Knockouts and 3 Counts and bodyslam.net. I'm looking forward to you guys coming back to the city, down to Detroit here in July. I think we've seen a major uptick in AEW with the weekly shows, not only with how many people are going to have been in the building, but what we've been seeing with the stories and stuff. With that being said, you've got the deal with Warner Brothers through 27, and there's a lot of talk on them possibly being sold. Talk to me about what you think has kind of made that uptick, and what are your thoughts on where AEW lands with what could possibly happen with Warner Brothers?
My friend, we already sold. We sold for $31 a share. It's done. And so it's going to happen. And the really exciting thing is I'm very excited about who's the buyer. It's very, very good for us. And I'm so glad that Paramount is going to be joining us here, and that Paramount is going to be assuming control. I think it's fantastic to have David Ellison coming in here. He's been a fantastic leader. He's already doing great things with Paramount, and also to have him come here. I believe he's a great filmmaker. I've worked with him with NFL and Skydance. He's been a visionary with Skydance Sports. We've done multiple documentaries with NFL Films. I'm on the fan engagement and major events committee of the NFL, and Skydance has been a great partner for the NFL, and now CBS and Paramount's a great partner for the NFL. I think it's going to be great for TBS and TNT. TBS and TNT will be stronger. The late, great Ted Turner dreamed of buying CBS and wanted to buy CBS, and now CBS and TBS and TNT will all live under the same roof, and that's great. I think it's also great keeping everything together under one roof, which was, if things had gone the other way, that's not what was going to happen. They were going to split up TBS and TNT from HBO Max. I don't think that would have been in the best interest of everybody. I also think it's going to be better for everybody at TBS and TNT now to have everything under one roof and to have the leadership coming in with a vision and a plan. I feel like people at Paramount are excited about what's happening there, and I do think now for all of us, I'm very optimistic. We have somebody coming in who's the same age as I am, who watches wrestling and I think this is going to be a good thing. I think it'll be the first time since Ted Turner that there's been a supreme commander at the top of the whole studio, and also it'll be the first time to have a network under our umbrella, and that's something really powerful. And this will be the closest, as far as programming-wise, to have AEW living under the same licensing as the NFL. So I'm really excited about it. And, we've been doing some really, really exciting things in terms of new partnerships, trying to grow AEW. You saw, we're doing the Brawl in the Ballpark with the Minnesota Twins and the MLB. We've got the collaboration coming out with the NFL on the masks for all 32 teams now that we launched at the NFL Draft. You saw Swerve at the NFL Draft representing the Jaguars and AEW. And I think there's going to be more collaborations and more exciting things we're going to be able to do in the future. And I really believe that TBS, TNT, and HBO Max are all going to come out of this much stronger. And I think based on HBO Max and TBS and TNT all staying under one roof, I think we're all going to be better off than if they had been split up under the alternative plan that was proposed. Thank you.
Hey, Tony. Pat Corsello from OnNewJersey.com. I was just wondering, I know it's a long ways away, but next April, there's no domestic wrestling weekend in the United States.
Yet.
With the success that AEW has had, and you look at this event, sold out here in New York City, how doable do you think it is for an AEW-led wrestling extravaganza to be had in the United States
I think that's
next April?
I think is potentially viable, and it's a very interesting thought. And we'll have to see what happens in the world landscape between now and then, but certainly it's a very interesting possibility.
Tony, Alan Owens at Owens Talk. I don't think AEW gets enough praise for what they do for the independent scene of professional wrestling. We saw Mance Warner today, we saw Tommy Invincible, and basically every single weekend you can see top AEW talent at your local indies. We just saw Kevin Knight and Leo Rush at House of Glory. We saw Andrade and Brian Cage at ACW just here in New York. Is it something that you have a conscious effort week in and week out on spotlighting the independent scene? Like we've seen with the Divine Dominion, they took on independent talent and stuff like that. Is that something that crosses your mind on a regular basis?
Yeah, I like supporting independent wrestling, and we go out of our way to support independent wrestling domestically and internationally, to your point. Whether it's U.S. indies or supporting international and sometimes our own people, because a lot of times our own people here in AEW work with other promotions too. So I believe in that. You know, we have really strong partnerships with the top international promotions, but also I like supporting the indies around the world. And I think it's something we talked about with my AEW. There'll be a possibility to pick up more promotions and give them more exposure. And I think it's good for everybody, and it creates a great pipeline. So I like to support those shows and help them out, and I think it can be good for everybody. I appreciate you asking. Thank you.
Hi, Tony. Dean Moses, AM New York. I just wanted to ask you a bit of a strange question here about the Stadium Stampede match. I don't know if you're familiar with the app Citizen, but during the match, there was an alert went out to a couple of thousand phones about a report of a bus collision with a golf cart. So I just wanted to get your reaction to the fact that this match was literally sent out to people who weren't even watching. Plus, did you get any 911 calls as a result of this?
There were some of you that were in Philly at the shows we did at the 2300 Arena. Is there anybody that was in Philadelphia for that? Yeah, a bunch of you, right? I saw a lot of you there. Was anybody there the night that I had Sting come out and do a tribute to Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert? I believe that Jack is the first person to get the cops called on him for crashing a car in wrestling since Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert hit Jerry Lawler with a car in Memphis in 1990. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I went back and told Jack, and Jack did his thing where he oh yeah, sure, no, where he nods along like he knows the facts, like because Jack's a young guy still, and I'll bring up wrestling history, and Jack he has this thing he does where he nods along, oh yeah, sure, yeah, and so to your point, yes, I did know that, and I thought it was pretty cool because that's the last time I can remember somebody, that kind of a moment that I remember somebody ratting the wrestler in question out. So I'm not sure if they called the cops on Jack or not, but I thought that was pretty cool. Thank you for asking. Also, thank you for the great photos you took. Those are we're still using them to this day. Great job. Thank you.
How's it going, Tony? Pedro Vasquez from BTA Philly. First off, congratulations on an amazing show tonight.
Thanks, dude.
And with AEW Dynamite making its return to Philadelphia this Wednesday, I'm very excited for this show at the Liacouras Center. Can you share what has Philly mean to you and to AEW as a whole, as well as give us a glimpse on what to expect this Wednesday at the Liacouras Center?
Absolutely. I am in the process of evaluating who will be able to wrestle medically. There are multiple people I'm very concerned about their status. Ideally, I'll be able to continue, just as an example of one of the things. I'm hoping that everyone involved in that bus crash will be able to continue the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. That would be a great match for Wednesday. Jack Perry and Mark Davis in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. There are several matches that I am ideally planning, but there's a good possibility a lot of the people are getting checked out right now. So when I get the medical report and when I get in the back, I will finish putting the show together. But suffice it to say, the wrestlers got the hell beaten out of them tonight. I'm optimistic, hopefully, to be able to continue the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. We have a number of situations to address, and I'm going to go and talk to the doctor when I get back from here. There's a long line outside the doctor's office when I came out here, I assure you. but it's a good question. We're going to have a great time in Philly. And to the first part of your question, thank you for asking it. It means a lot. The first place I ever saw wrestling outside of my hometown of Champaign, Illinois, was Philadelphia when I was 13 years old. And again, this is a story I think like most of the people in here know, but I will retell it because you asked, that when I was 13 years old, the first time I actually met Mike, who's in the back of the room here when I was 13, I had been talking to several tape trading friends for a couple years on America Online, and I was 13 years old. And back then, it was unusual to have online friends in the 90s. Now it's not that weird to have friends you meet online and then you meet in person. But back then, not that common. And I started trading tapes and talking to friends on the internet when I guess I was 12. And then when I was 13, my parents tricked me into going to the University of Illinois Laboratory School. They said, take the test, and if you get in, then you proved you can get in. That's all you got to do. But we just want to see if you can do it. And I got in, and then they said, well, now you got to go. And I said, I don't want to go. And then my mom started crying in the McDonald's parking lot. And I said, well, I really don't want to go. This isn't fair. And then my parents said, well, just you can have anything. If within reason, what was the one thing you'd like? We'll give you something, and this is like a bargain. We're going to negotiate with you. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to go to Philadelphia and see wrestling. I went to ECW. I met a lot of my friends for the first time in person. And it was actually Chris Jericho's last night in the promotion. It was his last weekend. He wrestled Sabu on Friday night, and he wrestled Too Cold Scorpio on Saturday night. And then they chanted, "You sold out," and he was gone. And it was a great night. It was Sabu versus RVD in a stretcher match, and then have gotten to have both of them here, and it was great for Chris to be able to pay a tribute to Sabu tonight, who we all miss and all have so much respect for. But Philadelphia means a lot to me. It's an iconic place to watch wrestling, and it's not lost on me that, as you ask, and as we're approaching that date, it was great to have Mick Foley come into AEW and be a part of the show, now hosting with Renee, somebody who's a true icon of wrestling, and certainly in Philadelphia, one of the great icons of wrestling. Thank you for asking. QT's he's gonna be okay. Thanks for asking. What a good question, John.
A couple more questions for Tony.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony. John Moonsault from Stash Club Wrestling. I have a question about an upcoming event. I saw that AEW and the MLB will be collaborating.
Yes.
On July 10th for Brawl in the Ballpark. Just a general question, if you can give us any kind of insight, what the plans are for that, or anything in general, and then if you plan to collaborate with more MLB teams in the future.
Yes, I'm excited about that one in particular. I work with a lot of the major league teams through my company, True Media. We provide analytics and engineering services to almost every team, 29 out of the 30 teams, and we work with players on all 30 teams. And Minnesota Twins is a special relationship for me. My friend Daniel Adler, who worked for the Jaguars for many years, he's at the Twins, and that's who brought this idea up to me of bringing AEW to the game and having wrestling matches at the ballpark. So it'll be a ball game, and we'll have matches. Probably, but given the length of the ball game, it'll be something short, like an activation, a few matches. It'll be something really fun. And it'll be our first time doing something like this. But after having an amazing Fairway to Hell event, I'm looking forward to a Brawl in the Ballpark. Thanks for asking. My friend got married in that ballpark, actually. I was at his wedding. Hey. Good. You got a mic back there? Well, I'll get you one. Adam's going to bring it to you.
Thank you, Adam. Tony, congratulations on such a successful pay-per-view. Double or Nothing, like you said, knocked it out of the park. It truly did. With that being said, this isn't as much as a question as it is maybe we can get some of your thoughts. A member of the AEW family, obviously, is going through a tremendous ordeal right now, with that being Rebel, as she is battling through ALS. I was wondering if you can make any sort of thoughts, anything going on in your mind regarding Rebel, and besides that, is there anything that the AEW fan base and all of us maybe here tonight, anything that we can do to support Rebel, or anything that creatively you can come up with through, obviously, All Elite Wrestling, that we can all kind of get behind her and let her know that she is in all of our prayers. Thank you.
Thank you for asking. First of all, I want to send best wishes to Rebel. Rebel's been with us since the beginning. She's not here on the road with us now, but Rebel's still always going to be a big part of AEW, and we're thinking about her. I really appreciate you asking about it, and we're keeping Rebel in our thoughts, but also there are things you can do to support her. I just got it today. I have not had a chance to reply because I've been at the show, but I'm going to reply to him. I just heard from Steve Gleason. Steve Gleason reached out on behalf of the ALS Foundation and his own foundation, and I do think there's going to be great chances to collaborate and do something. And with that, thank you, Adam. And with this, we'll have these bracelets, thinking about Rebel, and I'm thinking that it would be great to work with Steve Gleason and the ALS Foundation to put together Fight for the Fallen and have Fight for the Fallen to benefit ALS and people dealing with ALS and the treatment. And I think that would be something that we can all do that would be a positive way to support. And in the meantime, yes, there are ways the fans can support it, which is given to ALS research and supporting the charity now. You don't have to wait for Fight for the Fallen. And that'll be a great opportunity also for people to give to support ALS research and treatment. Thank you. Thank you. Great question.
Good evening to you both. Gerard Brown from the NWA Podcast. Quick question for you. You have a show coming up on the 29th and the 30th in Detroit, Dynamite and Collision. You have competition 9 days prior to that in the city. Anything, any strategies that you are planning to attack the market with in the Midwest to try to make that show appeal more than any other competition happening? And also, any stadium shows coming towards the Mitten City, if you will?
Well, that's great. I would like to do more events there. Detroit is such a great wrestling city. Some of my favorite nights in AEW have been there. We had the original Blood and Guts and the original Royal Rampage, Mox and Kenny in the Cage. Really just great, great events in Detroit. And I have a huge affinity for Detroit. Really, without the Motor City in Detroit, I don't think it would be possible for AEW to be here. You know, my father, everything he's been able to do in the world of auto parts is because of the great people in Detroit and the great auto parts industry. And I would love to bring more and more AEW events to Detroit. AEW is where the best wrestle, so you can bet we're going to bring 2 nights of the very best to Detroit. I look forward to that very much, and I think right now we're very focused on just doing the very best shows we can with AEW, and I think, in my opinion, it's showing up, and you can see everybody's working so hard, and it feels like it's really connecting with the fans. And in the back, too, it really feels like there's a spirit that is as strong as it's been maybe since the pandemic or ever. Just it feels like right now is as good of a connection between AEW backstage as a company and also the fans watching the shows. I loved the pay-per-view tonight. I think we're on a roll of great shows this year, the TV and pay-per-views, and that goes back to last year. So I just believe we can keep putting on strong events, and the wrestlers are doing such a great job. The fans have been supporting us so well, and I just want to keep it going. So we really, for the last few years, have not thought a lot about what other promotions are doing unless it's people we're partnering with and going into events like Grand Slam Mexico or Forbidden Door and collaborating with our partners or trying to support Wrestle Kingdom or Wrestle Dynasty and events like that our partners have put on, or sending great wrestlers to Arena Mexico and collaborating with independent promotions, working with other people, trying to bring other promotions in for my AEW, trying to find ways to support indies. Those are all really positive things, so I feel like we're just focused on what we do and also how we can help. Thanks for asking.
Hello, Tony. Jorge Cervera of All Elite Show. Well, I want to ask you right now, with a partnership with the CMLL, there's something that is unique in the CMLL, that is the microstars. So I would like to know if it's possible, maybe at some show of AEW got Que Malito, Que Bonito, where there are some legends at CMLL and in Mexico. So it's possible?
It's a great idea. It's a great thought. I have not thought a lot about it. It's a great thought and a good idea. It's something for us to seriously consider. I think there's a big audience for them. They're very popular. And certainly we could put it under consideration. It's not something we thought about really or talked about doing, but it could be good. And before long, we'll be back in Mexico, so you'll see them when we go to Arena Mexico again for Grand Slam Mexico, because we will be back. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys all so much for being here tonight. Tony, thank you.
Thank you, Renee.
What an incredible night. Everybody get home safe, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you so much. Great to see you.